Welcome back. I've been asked a lot about tools and getting started. So this will be like the first video of getting started. I'll run through, this isn't even my car, mine's in getting fixed. But it is very reminiscent of the setup I had when I first started. The only thing missing is the compressor and the hose reel, but you've seen all that in other videos. I thought maybe a more detailed look at what's actually inside the toolboxes. So I'll just start in, like it'll be a pretty rough video, but I kind of reckon you could get like 80% of carpentry jobs done with this setup. If it's just you, it's pretty thorough. Like I did the subfloor with essentially everything that's in here. The only time you need to go bigger is when you're carrying like heaps of nails and shit like that, and drop saws, but like the more prefab there is, the less need you have for drop saws. So anyway, jumping right in. Bowl stitch nail gun, the coil gun, I think they're the best bang for buck still. That one I fucked up, I swapped out. I thought it came with a bump fire trigger in it and I swapped it out for the wrong one. Anyway, angle grinder, that one's got a disc for cutting cement sheet in it. Stabilo rotary laser, impact driver, nail bag, that's just got some bits and shit like that in it. Cipro saw, charger, hammers, a little stapler underneath, that one's neither here nor there, you don't really need it. Caulking gun, a couple of spare discs and shit like that. Like I said, there's not heaps that you really need. We all get caught up on having flash tools and shit like that, but I dare say we do 80% of our work with 20% of our tools. In the back, obviously this is a bit of a shit show. Socket set, I would recommend keeping one of those with you. On a side note, one of those is handy, especially if you're towing trailers, the portable air compressors. Keep an axe or a sledgehammer, a shovel, that's not my socket set. Usually the tripod for the rotary lasers in here, and then the staff for the rotary laser. Gumboots are handy as well. This side's more kind of miscellaneous shit. The other side, when you pull up to a job, is the side that's on the road. So that's the stuff you need on every job, is that side. Radio, just the Milwaukee one. When I say radio, it's just a speaker. I actually don't listen to the normal FM radio. I have quite a hatred of it. A light for doing night jobs, receiver, drill bits, the little line laser from Milwaukee. I'd probably say the rotary laser I had in the other side isn't entirely essential, but I would recommend one laser. Those are fantastic. For square, plumb, level, really, really good lasers. Buzzer, the Makita 40 volt one does seem a good amount better than the Milwaukee one. The Milwaukee one hasn't been updated in some years though, so that shouldn't come as a surprise. Milwaukee drill, dual charger, another angle grinder. Bolt sander you don't really need, that's just in here from a specific job I had. Another charger, battery, another drill. That one is a tyre repair kit, like the plugs. Between that and that air compressor in the back, it's amazing the pickles you can get yourself out of. So those plugs are meant to be reasonably permanent. I am too reliant on them, I use them way too much. You're not meant to put them in sidewalls, but I have a bad habit of doing so. This nail gun, I don't really use much. I think it needs a service or something. I've never had that done since I've owned it. Yeah, I've never had that service since I've owned it. And now it just doesn't punch like it used to. But that's mainly why I like air, because this gun's never let me down. Every now and again the screws on the back get a little bit loose. You just tighten them up and off you go. But yeah, because the coil guns that don't run on air that are available right now don't seem very good. To me, it means you still have to have a compressor. And if you're going to have a compressor, I'd much rather use that nail gun than that one. Even when that one was brand new, it's a lot heavier. These are faster, they break less, and they're just a nicer feel when you're punching nails. Blocks of nails in the bottom, some random shit, chem set. The white tape for your air fittings is handy. The cab of the ute I don't keep too much. If you're running your own show, I would suggest keeping your laptop with you during the day, laptop or iPad or something like that. It seems to me with a lot of inquiries that come in, the sooner you get your quote back, the more likely you are to win the job. And especially when you're starting out, you're probably just quoting little jobs anyway. So, you know, someone might call you and say, can you shoot me a quote for fixing a door? 10 minutes later, they got the quote and you probably won it. Versus if you try and wait until that night, they might have called other people reply, and then it's a bit more competitive. So especially when you're starting out, we'll probably cover more of this in, say, next week's video. But yeah, the sooner you get your quote back out, I think the better. And it just shows people that you give a fuck about this. Oh, there's a hammer drill too in the back, sorry. Hammer drill is somewhat important. But yeah, with these tools, like that's a reasonably complete kit of tools. You can get a lot of work done with that. I see a lot of blokes getting caught up on fucking track saws and obviously there's a fixing gun missing. Track saws and other random shit that you don't really need. Track saws are handy, not entirely essential. I think for general carpentry, you don't need them. If one person in your crew has them, that's helpful. The rotary laser you don't really need. I might do a video on like the specialized tools that do help. Off the top of my head, the Stabilo layout station, the Max high pressure nail guns, specifically for shooting concrete nails and steel. I don't know what tool I'd say after that. But yeah, I'll keep going a bit further into this. I've just made a new purchase. Yeah, I'll cover that in a new video. But I ended up buying like an old truck over the weekend. So I'm gonna get rid of, I had a Ram Ute that was fun, but as my situation changed, I should fuck it off. And also I have a bad habit of breaking machinery, and that Ute's pretty expensive to fix and somewhat fragile. So I've been borrowing this car for a little bit, and then hopefully this little truck that I bought will be on the road soon, because that'll make pretty cool YouTube videos. And yeah, what else is there? Yeah, so next week's video, I'll cover some of the more like tactical things of running your own business, because I made a video on it a few years ago, and obviously as I'm mature, my opinions are going to change on things. And then also the marketplace for carpentry and labour is very different to what it was back then. So I think it's worth an update video. Like it's very much a builder's market at the minute. Previously there was not enough carpenters for how many builders were looking for labour. Now I think it's starting to go the opposite way. I think there's more labour than there is builds. So I think some people will start to struggle a little bit, and it might be a timely point to make a video like that and kind of, I don't know, we might be able to save a couple people from running out of work. But yeah, just off watching this, I'd say start to be nice to your builders, because you might end up needing them soon. The planning permit and building permit applications, they're like just on a macro level, they're way down, which the obvious knock-on effect of that is there's far less work out there. So that's something to keep an eye out for, but that should be next week's video. We'll cover that. But yeah, really brief overview of the tools I've been carrying. Air system, cordless tools, The benefit of having air is the nail guns are cheap. Like of the cordless tools, the nail guns are usually the most expensive ones. So you can save yourself a good chunk of change by just going air. It's a bit of a pain in the ass setting up the compressor, but you deal with it. Anyway, we'll catch up on the next video. I'm gonna, I don't know, sit down and make some dot points and put a fair bit of thought into it because I do have a lot of ideas and I think it'll be a good video. So anyway, hope you enjoy it. I'm not sure whereabouts in this video I'll edit this part into, but I just realised it wasn't in the Ute. And it's somewhat a reasonably priced tool that gives you a fuckload of options as you're working, and it's the 10-inch saw. These are great. You can cut joists, studs, just line them on their tool side and rip through a heap at once. It runs on the 40-volt stuff. Fantastic saw, and I would recommend, if you're only going to have one saw, it's probably still the 7 1/4, but you could make a legitimate case for just having one of these. I very, very much enjoy this tool for what we do. Well, and not that it's specific to us, but these posts are 125 by 75, and they are great for cutting off fence posts and that kind of shit. So I would very much recommend these as well, because I think someone, I'm sure, will correct me if I'm wrong because it's the internet, but I think the other saws only cut 70. The 7 1/4. So for fence posts, it means we don't get the little 5mm tag. Obviously, we're sending out a finished product. Very different for you guys. I suppose you're also producing a finished product, so don't have little tags. But yeah, 10-inch saw, I would borderline say is a bit of a must.